following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And it is a fabulous Football Friday edition of Talking Cowboys as our football weekend has already kicked off in a big way on Thursday night. And we get you set for the Cowboys and the Saints Sunday night football at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. And the Cowboys with a chance to go to 4-0 on the season for the first time in a season since Tony Romo's first full year as a starting quarterback back in 2007. Bill Jones, Mickey Spagnola, Rob Phillips, Brian Broaddus. Mickey's got his college colors on. Who does Mizzou play this week?
Well, you're dressed in red.
Well, but it's not. That has nothing to do with it.
It has no logo on it.
Right. This is a workout gear.
Troy University.
All right.
Better be
Mizzou
careful of them.
playing Troy University.
The Fighting D-Wares.
They've already beaten us once. So
yeah, be careful.
Yeah, okay. And big weekend for the Aggies as hosting Arkansas. Well, I say hosting. It's at AT&T Stadium, so I think that's an Arkansas home game.
yeah, it is. It is. That's always a close game. We'll see how that one goes at the at Jerry World.
Well, one sweet is.
Yes, it definitely is a home field advantage there. And, Brian, what is LSU doing this week?
We're waiting for Utah State next week.
Waiting for Utah State. Well, my Sooners will play Texas Tech. Got that out of the way.
There you go.
And
how's that go over at home?
Oh, yeah. My wife's a Texas Tech grad. It doesn't go over very well. Either way.
Separate rooms,
there have
separate
been years
TVs.
where I've been in a bad mood, and there have been other years that, well, more years that she's been in a bad mood.
I was going to say, many more.
Especially when we take their quarterback and win a Heisman Trophy. But anyway, how about Thursday night football last week to kick things off? Because that game obviously affects the Cowboys. The Eagles were able to come away winners at Green Bay, so the Cowboys do not have the opportunity to build as much as a 3-game lead on Sunday night. Could be down to 1 game depending on what happens Sunday night. But what do y'all make of last night's game?
That's a heck of an effort from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
It really was. To see their teammate laying on the field in those waning moments of that game and then make a stop like they did. And, you could say what you want about the play calling for the Packers and the final 2 drives that they had. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He's got guys out there. Mickey said it on the radio this morning on 105.3. Who is he throwing to? His best receiver standing there on the sidelines with an injured toe. And that just shows you when you have a quarterback that's capable of carrying a team. But great effort by the Philadelphia Eagles to at least get a stop there. I mean, that's the worst situation you could do is try and fit a ball in there and have it knocked up in the air and end the game that way. But give the Eagles credit. It's not easy to win at Lambeau Field, like it's not easy to win at the Superdome. So that's what you got to do if you want to be a good team and want to be recognized and win divisions. You got to win those games that maybe you looked like you weren't going to win, and you find a way to get it done.
Desperate team theory, and they're probably a better team than they showed the first couple games. And I wonder what the stats are when you start 1-3 in a season, because we know 0-2 is the odds are very low that you make the playoffs. But they were staring 1-3 in the face, and now all of a sudden they're still in this thing, and have a chance to close the gap if the Saints can pull it off on Sunday. We'll see what happens, obviously, with the Cowboys.
When I start picking these games early in the season, I look at the record a lot and try to figure out, okay, who needs to win more than another team does. And that's why I picked the Eagles to win, even on a short week playing on the road, because I thought they'd be more desperate, whatever. I think it also bodes well for the Cowboys going in this week that New Orleans won at Seattle last week. They aren't quite as desperate as what they would have been otherwise, even with their quarterback situation. Mickey, what did you make of last night's game?
The NFL is getting closer and closer to college and high school football.
No defense.
No one could play defense.
Yeah, no defense.
I mean,
Packers
the
have
Packers
been good.
they put 400 and some yards on them on Philadelphia. Supposed to be a great defense. And then I thought Green Bay had a great defense, and they can't stop the run.
Yeah.
And then this whole thing with the officiating. last play of the game, you don't look at that? How do you not look at that?
To me, and I totally understand where Mickey's going with that, but I would rather the officials let them play.
Well, they let them play and made the wrong call.
That's okay. But
it's not.
They let him play.
Go ask Green Bay. Go ask Jason Garrett after the 2014 playoff game.
Ask the Philadelphia Eagles. They thought it was a really good play.
Yeah, well, but it wasn't. I had no dog in the fight. It was interference.
Philadelphia's 2-2, and Green Bay's 3-1.
It's easy to say that.
No, it's not easy to say.
Until it's your loss.
Exactly. But you would be bitching right now if it was Dallas, if that happened to Dallas. But if it was the other way, you would be the first guy to say.
I would tell the truth. I don't sugarcoat these calls.
No.
That was a bad call. They
made far worse calls than that in games.
Even if they didn't overturn it, they owed the teams to look at it.
They're
and
not
they
gonna
didn't
look at
even
it.
look at it.
They're not going to look at it.
The guy upstairs is supposed to look at it.
They're not going to look at it.
Why?
They're not.
But
They're
why?
Not. Did you see what's happening in the league? You watch the other games?
I watch a lot of games, and that was interference.
There's far worse calls than that one.
But not to decide the game.
Well, that's welcome to the NFL.
Well, no, that's not right.
Okay, the NFC Championship game was decided on a bad call.
And that wasn't right.
Yeah. Well,
am I right?
They're not going to change. This is not going to change.
Well, it needs to be.
We could sit here and bitch about this all day. This is not changing. The officials will continue to protect each other. The replay officials will continue to protect the officials on the field. Al Riveron, that whole group will continue to protect each other, and they'll make up, as Jason Garrett would like to say, they'll make up calls or they'll make up, explanations and stuff. And he's not wrong about that. But to me, the final plays of the game, let the players decide it. If they make that call, would you think that would have been a fair call if you're a Philadelphia fan last night?
I didn't. All I said was it should have been reviewed.
It wasn't. They let him decide.
Well, I know it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it should have been.
Well, they let him decide the game.
They could have said, hey, we looked at it and it stands.
I guarantee you Dallas is going to get screwed on a call, and you're going to be in here screaming on Monday morning.
Well, I'm screaming right now, and it ain't Dallas. Yeah. I'm talking about what's right.
Yeah.
You can say all this stuff, but it ain't right. It doesn't make it okay.
I'm not saying the game is. They should let him decide the game on the field. That's the bottom line. They should let him decide.
Well, then let's just have anarchy. Have no rules.
I didn't say that.
Well, you did. You said let's decide it on the field.
Let him decide it on the field.
Okay,
if it's two players going for a ball.
Why do you have review?
How about a stupid call by the Packers not running the damn ball down there with two timeouts?
That's a whole nother
Why don't you blame the stupid coach?
Well, no, it was. We didn't get to that.
Well, then why make a stupid throw on the goal line when you got two timeouts and a chance to run the ball in there with a running game? Why not?
They should have looked at it. It's a rule.
Okay.
Isn't it?
They haven't looked at one yet.
Well,
they haven't. They haven't.
Final 2 minutes. Why is that guy up in the box then if it's not going to be looked at and he doesn't do his job?
You need to stop dreaming.
No, I'm not dreaming.
You're dreaming.
Well,
they're not going to look at these
then
anymore.
somebody else ought to dream with me and get it right.
Well, they're not sharing your dream.
Well, they better.
All right, I'm watching it for the first time right now, and I'm going to have my take on it. I was in the car, and so I was listening on the radio as it happened.
Too.
And so you're talking about the interception at the end of the game, right?
Yeah, the interference when the ball popped up in the
air. In the meantime, okay. I just saw it.
You taking Mickey's side?
Both arms around him from behind.
I've got to expand my picture and take a closer look at
Things happen down on the goal line like that all the time. You could call holding. You can call defensive holding down on the goal line anytime you want.
Well,
I'll take a look during the break.
It wasn't holding. It was interference. He hit him before the ball got there.
All right, so as far as the pass interference, and now obviously the ability to challenge a potential pass interference, what do the coaches know about that and through now 3 games
that they're not going to overturn it?
Yeah, and how does that affect whether the coach uses a challenge flag or not on it?
You couldn't challenge in the last 2 minutes.
I'm talking in general about the pass interference. I'm not talking about that play.
They should have known in the preseason when they kept challenging those flags and it looked like obvious pass interference. How many times did we do preseason games this year? You were doing television, I was doing radio, and all of a sudden it looked like interference, and they challenge it, and then the official says, "No, that's not interference." Okay, that
was the indicator that this is how we're handling it.
That is the indicator that we're not going to just sit here and roll over and call pass interference every single time.
They don't want to set a precedent for throwing a flag every time it might be on that line, and you got to be judicious anyway because you still have the same number of timeouts that you're risking if you're wrong. So it is what it is. I'm kind of with Brian on that, but I need to see the play. I need to see the play before I take a side between this round of boxing we just witnessed.
That's
here.
right. Some good sparring going on.
Spence
there.
before Porter before Saturday night.
There we go.
By the way, Mickey, you're going to have more time than you thought to go back and review that play tomorrow because your Missouri Tigers are not playing Troy tomorrow.
It's not Troy?
They're not playing anybody tomorrow. They're playing Troy next
My
week.
goodness.
Can you please learn what your
what the
college
schedule is?
He's studying for his next career is what he's doing. He's coming in his next life. He will be an
He's
NFL
going to be a replay official.
I got the opponent right, though, didn't I?
Your next opponent is next week.
See, there's a good reason why you have
Saturday.
to have backup when you say stuff. Or don't call a
But I'll call you out on the air on that, too. By the way, my football weekend got started last night with a high school football show out here at the Tostitos Championship Plaza out here.
Sure.
And a former Cowboy, Doug Donnelly's son, Drew Donnelly, the star for, let me get it right, Lebanon Trail High School in Frisco. We found white lightning in a bottle. As, of course, Doug Donnelly was known as White Lightning when he played for the Cowboys. He's got a son who's a junior at Lebanon Trail who may be faster than Doug Donnelly.
Uh-oh.
And
They score 50 points?
he did not score 50 points, but he's got 4.35 speed as a junior in high school. So just a shout out there to the Donnelly family of Frisco, Texas, as we keep it Cowboys. All right, injury report. Give me an injury report.
You want me to give you Jason's injury report?
Okay.
I can give you Jerry's.
All right, go ahead.
Well,
Did you listen to Jerry this morning?
I did.
Oh, that was good stuff, too.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It was a lot of different topics. As far as the injuries, he thinks Amari's ready to go. All signs are. I think the question was, should he be full power in the game? And he said yes. Now, I don't know exactly what Jason said, but he talked about Zach Martin too, right, Mick?
Yes, and Jerry said?
No, Garrett.
Oh, Garrett did, yeah.
I don't think Jerry touched on Zach.
Yeah, he said he anticipates him practicing today. They gave him yesterday off because he didn't make it through Wednesday's practice. So I think they are doing what they need to do to get him to Sunday. Same thing with Cooper.
Fair enough.
How concerning is this?
Well, I think it's somewhat.
He's got a bad back.
Right.
It's
And
going to be
and we've known since August.
We're in week 4.
You know,
I mean,
we're going to talk about this every week.
Right.
I mean,
the disc thing might clear up, but it touched a nerve, and the nerve's still going to cause you problems.
Yeah, he's going to have to
Ask somebody here at the table.
I mean, it's something you deal with every day of your life. And he, I believe, had a full practice last week, but that's the only one he's had since
They
the
took
season
him off
started.
the injury list and put him back on it.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to manage him throughout the year, no question about it.
Him and Maury Cooper. You knew this coming out of, and get ready. We're going to have Tyrone Smith. That's another one. Knock on wood. But that's, as these guys, as we get to week 7, week 9, and week 15, these injuries, I mean, it's harder for these guys to have to play these games and then turn around and do it again. And so, with all that being said, just be ready. As long as you don't have the injury that lands guys on IR or knees or shoulders or anything like that, then you're going to have to just find a way to manage through these things.
You can lump Tyrone Crawford in that mix too, although it's not looking good for this week.
Yeah, that's another one.
Nor Woods.
Yeah,
Antoine.
Yeah.
Antoine Woods. Yeah,
But something you got to manage throughout the year, Tyrone. This is something. I mean, Antoine's sprained knee. You hope that thing heals and then he's ready to go. I don't know if Tyrone or Zach, or you can say, they'll be 100% at any point this year. You just got to be able to fight through it. And those are tough guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but see, here's what scares me with Crawford.
If you can fight through it,
but this has been going on since the offseason.
Right. I know.
Yeah. So
And
then
it's
he
the other
played
hip.
one game.
Yeah.
And he played one game, and here it is again.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can. I mean, if you're not able to get out there, you can't do it. But
Yeah. He's not wrong.
Because, with a lot of those things, and I'm not saying this about his, it's like when you end up with a bad shoulder and they put a harness on it and try to get you through the season, and then when it's January, you get surgery. At some time you're trying to get the guy so you don't have to do surgery. I think we, as observers, treat surgeries like getting a flu shot. You know, that's a major thing.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do surgery just to do surgery. You really have to have it. So if they can help you through this and rehab and rest, then they don't do surgery. But sometimes it comes back to get you.
Well, the thing that they fixed on him is not the hurt part of his body. It's the other hip that's hurt. You know, look what Byron Jones. Give him credit for that. They fixed Byron Jones. Byron Jones looks good out there. Look at, the human log. His thing was a knee. It wasn't his, he was dealing with a shoulder and stuff like that. That seemed to be okay. He didn't have a problem with that.
Happened in the Rams game.
Well, and let's use Byron for an example.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened during the season last year.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, let's see if we can get through this, rest, see if we do rehab. And then when was it? He had the surgery. It was like April?
Yeah, like they tried to manage it in the offseason, and it got to the point where, okay, we need to get this right for the season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think Crawford's in the same boat.
Yeah. I don't think that's getting any better. That's the one that, if you want to worry about one, that's one. You're going to have to find a way to rotate those defensive ends, and hopefully Tristan Hill could continue to be good as a nickel tackle, give you some rush, play with his pad level down, do the things that they think that he could do as they drafted him where they did.
Okay, 888-855-2297, the number to chime in on this Friday. And we will go to your Twitter questions, Periscope as well, when Talking Cowboys continues in a moment.
While a player can look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
Do you want the most interesting, up-to-the-minute Dallas Cowboys news straight from the Star in Frisco? How about exclusive and on command? That's right, news and nuggets you can't find anywhere else. With our exclusive Cowboys content on Alexa, you can have all the answers, secrets, stories, and more. What's Stephen Jones thinking during a game? What's Joe Looney's favorite pregame meal? We take your questions to Cowboys players and coaches, and you can hear the answers directly back to you. Just say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
The excitement of Dallas Cowboys football is back at AT&T Stadium.
The place is going crazy in Arlington, Texas.
Don't miss your chance to see the Cowboys live when they host their NFC East rivals, the Eagles, Giants, and Redskins, plus the Green Bay Packers and more.
Elliott works his way through and walks the dog.
Single game tickets are on sale now. Get them before they're gone.
First and goal, quarterback sneak. Prescott pushes up the middle. Touchdown.
Visit DallasCowboys.com to get your tickets today.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Talking Cowboys continues now, and of course after Sunday in New Orleans, Cowboys return home to face those Green Bay Packers in the next home game, and single game tickets are available. See the Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium. That's a Sunday 3:25 kickoff on October 6th as they take on the Packers. Get your tickets now at DallasCowboys.com. By the way, I figured out this morning we are at the 1/3 mark of this season. Cowboys reported to Oxnard, California 9 weeks ago, okay? 9 weeks from now will be Thanksgiving weekend, and 9 weeks after that will be Super Bowl weekend. So we are at the 1/3 mark of this season.
Goes fast.
Okay,
It does.
It does go fast. Yeah.
I've got it planned for the entire season.
Yeah.
All right. That's in my little planner
Ryan
there.
always says it. You wake up one day and it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then here we go. You got a month
That's
to go.
right.
That's
right. And
absolutely.
then you'll wake up 9 weeks after Thanksgiving, and the Cowboys will be in Miami playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
And we'll get to go to Amari's hometown, do stories.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. And then that's when I pull up Troy's tweet from this week about Patrick Mahomes and how many Super Bowls he has. Call me when he gets 1/3 of my Super Bowl. So
Troy Aikman, a low-key Twitter savage.
Yeah. And by the way, how was he last night on the pass interference stuff in the broadcast booth? Did he?
Oh,
was he opinionated?
He was, and he had a bunch that were wrong too. Like he said, "Oh, that's interference," and it was like, "No,
it wasn't that Troy was wrong."
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
Okay, Brian, how is Periscope coming along?
They hate. They say that our first part of the show is embarrassing. But that's okay. I don't really care about what that. It's what it is. But
well, I thought your tweet
so we're
was
on the right track.
No,
we're on the right track.
Yeah, we're pissing people off, and that's a good thing. That's good, folks. By the way, if you don't know by now, if 50% of you hate us and 50% of us love us, then we're doing pretty damn good radio for you, right?
50% of you hate us, 50% of us love us.
Yeah, whatever. That's part of it, though. But no, it's they're talking about what they feel like the Cowboys have to do to win this football game. I mean, they're talking about stopping Kamara and stuff like that, and what they think the game plan would be with Teddy Bridgewater. You know, how do you if you limit Kamara and Thomas? We talked about this yesterday, Bill. We had a few questions that we went through yesterday, and that kind of broke that down a little bit.
Let me ask you: besides Thomas in the passing game, who else you worried about for the Saints?
Well, they didn't have Ted Ginn the last time they played.
Right.
That would be some Hill, the tight end. I would worry about him a little bit. Cook. We've seen Cook make some plays down the field
against this team and over in this building.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you got to find a way to, that would concern me on offense. Anything that Teddy Bridgewater can do that's easy for him, and he'll, like we've seen, he's not willing to throw the ball down the field. But if you watch the Cowboys defense, it seems like that the Dolphins were throwing the ball down the field, and we said that yesterday, either a catch or a pass interference.
Yeah.
So, that's something. If I think I'm Teddy Bridgewater, I say, oh, you know what? I'll take a shot with Michael Thomas down the field. I'll take a shot with Teddy Ginn down the field.
I got a real sleeper guy to keep an eye on that Sean Payton's going to work a package out for this guy who was just called up from the practice squad last week. That's little Jordan Humphrey. He's going to be involved in some way.
You might run faster
slot.
than him right now.
I know he's more of a tight end than he is a wide receiver, but as a big slot,
he can catch the ball very well. That's something he's done. He did that at Texas very, very well. Again, the speed is not going to be a factor, something you have to worry about. So if you're somebody that's covering number 84 for the New Orleans Saints, be physical with him, deny him the opportunity in routes. And then, see if he can make a tight window catch.
And like I say, it's a very sleeper pick. He only had 6 snaps last week in his first NFL game. But Sean Payton, being from here and knowing where little Jordan Humphrey came from against the Cowboys.
Where'd he come from, Bill?
From South Lake and in Texas. And he's going to have something for little Jordan Humphrey in this game. Let's go to New Orleans. You want to go to New Orleans?
Let's go to New Orleans.
Let's check in with Ray in New Orleans. Hello, Ray.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Great.
Man, I had to call. I haven't called in a while, but it's Saints-Cowboys week, and this matchup always makes my stomach just turn from the beginning from Monday on. So, I mean, if you listen to Brian Broaddus, and everybody does, you will scare us half to death, but rightfully so, because the team has so many weapons, and Kamara is such a big weapon.
Sure.
I remember a game against Kansas City where I didn't even want to listen to you anymore. I mean, you were so thorough in all the weapons they had with Kelsey and everybody. I was like, how the hell are we going to win this game?
Sure.
And we ended up doing a damn good job in winning that game by a large margin. But, man, we've fared pretty well against the Saints in the Dome. I mean, we've had –
You're 3-7 lifetime in the Dome. You're 3-7.
Yeah, even when we didn't have Romo that year.
Bad Saints teams, too. 3-7. That's not faring well.
Year when we didn't have Romo and it was Whedon, I mean, Breeze wanted to give you that game early on. You dropped a couple of picks. It ended up being 17-17. They beat us in overtime. One of our linebackers went down, and he beat us with a wheel route the very next play. But these matchups have been very – I mean, we've played really, really well.
Who are you not scared of on the Saints?
Right now it's kind of hard to gauge it,
what
Brian,
do you mean?
because of
you ain't scared.
Well, you've only had Bridgewater for 1 week, so we don't know. I'm sure he's going to do better. So I'm scared of Kamara.
Sure, you should be.
What's up?
Sure, you should be. Yeah, I'm great with you.
Yeah, and so I think if we tackle, I mean, one of you guys said during the week, the key to this game is, I think Rob said it, tackle, 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 tackle.
Did you say that?
I did say that.
Okay.
You said tackle 4
Rob
times.
said that.
Yeah.
Mickey, I haven't forgot about you. I mean, Mickey's the all-around numbers guy, man. So
All
what
I
do you
know
guys
is
think?
numbers, huh?
No, you don't. I mean, you give him hell. I see you on Twitter, Mick. I don't know how you do it. I'm not a Twitter guy.
I don't
but
go on
sometimes I'll
it very
get it.
much. That's the success. So are people believing in this Bridgewater thing down there?
You know, everybody wanted to put in 7. No, they're not. To answer your question, they're not. And it's a trip on Facebook. Everybody wanted to see number 7. And I'm like, man, give
Taysom Hill?
Bridgewater. In my mind, I'm thinking give Bridgewater a chance because they wanted him to come in. Breeze wasn't doing anything against the Rams, and they wanted Bridgewater to come in and be doing things that even Breeze couldn't do in that game. That's so I don't know now. I mean, it's week to week, like with us, Mick. I mean, I don't look past Miami. I don't look past the Giants. I don't look past Washington. I remember this team barely being able to score points against Seattle to go to the playoffs year before last. So for us to score, I don't give a damn who it's against. For us to be able to score points like we've been doing is a plus. Now, our defense, they haven't had those splash plays, but let's see what happens because this is a 4-quarter season. The first 4 games, what you look like right now might not be what you look like, going forward. So I give our Cowboys a great chance. I played football in this stadium, Little League, junior high school. It's loud. We understand that. Yeah. But we do know that we've had some success in this stadium. So that's what I look forward to.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, one more thing. I'll let you guys go. How about them Tigers, baby?
Yeah,
go
there
Tigers.
you go. Best thing you said all the
You guys have a good day, okay? Good talking to you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Ray. Thank you.
You're right about 3 and 7. I mean, they went in 2009 and had a great performance there, but overall,
I was at a game when I think the Saints got 50 first downs. Mickey, were you at that game that day?
Yeah,
they had 400 something yards at half, maybe. Was it a Sunday night game?
That won the '89 game?
No.
It was before Christmas.
No, I'm talking about we went
recent.
It was very recent, like 4 years ago. Went down there.
2015.
49-7. It was 2013. It was a 49-17 New Orleans win.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
2013?
2015 was the overtime game.
2015 was overtime.
2013.
2013 was the blowout.
2013
for the Saints.
is 49-17 Saints.
Caught Damian Wilson on the field.
There you go.
The wheel route. Yeah.
Wheaton had a great game, though.
I'm looking through the series, and the Cowboys have actually lost 9 of the last 12 meetings.
Yeah.
What kind of team did the Cowboys have in 2009?
They had a very good team.
Made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They beat New Orleans that year.
Yeah.
That's one of those wins. What kind of team did the Cowboys?
Wasn't that the big DeMarcus Ware game?
Yes.
Yep. They beat New Orleans. And what kind of team New Orleans had? They had a really good team, right?
13-0.
That's right. Okay. 2014. What kind of team the Cowboys have?
Not very good.
Playoff team.
14.
Oh, I said the year.
Yeah.
What year Romo get hurt that we went through that? 15. Okay, my bad.
With 14, Cowboys, that was in Dallas. Cowboys beat the Saints 38-17.
Right.
What kind of team did the Cowboys have last year?
Playoff team.
Playoff team. They beat New Orleans. The only 3 wins they've had since 1994 in 12 meetings against the Saints have been when the Cowboys have had a good team.
There's been a lot of bad Saints teams, too.
You're right.
And so is this a litmus test for this team?
Well, it's a
What's next week then?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's another test. The crowd.
The point is, when the Cowboys have had a good team, they've been able to handle whatever the Saints have thrown at them.
Yeah, and there's going to be blue in the stadium. There's no doubt about it. But that crowd noise is a factor. Kellen Moore said what they've done in practice, like the noise level with the music and everything, has been like an 11 out of 10. Witten said when they come back to the huddle, they're not cutting the music off. They're trying to simulate that as best they can. We talked about it yesterday. I think with a veteran offensive line, I don't feel like that's a major concern, but it is there. And especially if the Saints get off to a good start.
If you get behind the chains on these guys, that can be problems.
Yep.
That's where the problems come into. You got to stay ahead of schedule when you play these guys.
Okay, I'm debating whether to take a break.
You better take a break.
Let's go to a break, and then Brian and Marilyn, you're going to be up next, and we're going to have picks to click when we come back.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit bettermoneyhabits.com.
It's time for tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper Soft Coolers at otterbox.com.
While a player can look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
So, did you know real men smell real good? Jack Black does. They have perfume now for men. Do you call it perfume for men?
I do not know.
I think cologne.
Cologne? How about cologne?
Call it whatever you want.
Yeah,
Because
sure do what
their
you want.
cologne has notes of carmine, cedarwood, juniper, eucalyptus. Whatever the occasion, Jack Black offers a fragrance selection with notes that will always ring true. Go to getjackblack.com.
Woo! Okay. People are really going to hate us after I bring this up, but you led me to this. And Douglas Barraclough said I needed to talk about it on the show today. We're not going to do it very long. It's just very brief here.
Periscope, get ready.
But yesterday morning, talking about how people smell, okay? Yesterday morning at 5:45, I was awakened by my dog, Romo.
Oh, no.
My dog, Romo, had been let out by my lovely wife, Stacy, along with his brother, Bo, to go outside at 5 o'clock, whatever, and there was a skunk out there.
Oh, no.
I got awakened to Romo on my
back
bed.
in the house?
On my bed. Tried to get the skunk smell off him.
No,
You can't.
That's not good.
Is that possible? I mean,
It's not.
God.
Trust me, it's not. It's the second time this has happened.
I heard you had to bathe them like in tomato
In baking
juice
soda or whatever. We gave him 2 baths, whatever.
Did
But
it work?
that's what
Jack
I got
Black,
awakened
baby,
to.
Jack Black.
Was Romo on my bed with the smell of a skunk. Okay, there you go. But otherwise, Tony Romo had a great day yesterday. Shot
Yes,
a
he
70.
did.
Has a chance to make the cut at whatever tournament he's in. All right, now let's go to Brian in Maryland. Next up on Talking Cowboys. Brian.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Great.
Good.
I was looking at some of the Saints tape from earlier this year, and I see where they're having problems with now, or like the weakness would be as far as us scoring points would be between the tackles, because I believe Sheldon Rankins is still out, and Anzalone, their inside linebacker, isn't he? He won't be active for this game, I don't believe.
No, he won't.
So I see where we would have the most success is handing Zeke and Tony Pollard the ball. I see that and also with our tight ends. I know people are worried with Gallup and Cooper, but the key to this game, as I understand, would be just running it between the tackles and us having success that way. I wanted to know y'all's thoughts on that.
Did you go back and watch the Rams game at all?
I did. It was great for the Rams.
Yeah. Did you see what the Rams did running the ball?
Yes.
What did they do?
They just spread them out, took their gaps, and went. Okay. Got the ugly yards.
Yeah, they actually ran the toss sweep. They hit that part of the game. What the Rams did was they ran the ball downhill with the toss sweep. So that was a more effective way of running it. I think what you want to do against the Saints is you want to get them going one way and try and get back the other way. You're going to see some counters in this game. I think you're going to see some toss sweep. I think you're going to see the ball more on the edge than inside. So, that's where I think that to me, if you also go back and watch the Houston Texans game, the Texans were able to run some read option stuff, and the Saints did not have a very good answer for that. So Mickey's going to give you a bunch of numbers why you should run the ball against these guys, and they're all true. But to me, the biggest plays they give up are on the edges. But good job of you watching tape. Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you very much.
Saints are 26th against the run.
Yeah.
And Rankins has been limited all week with an Achilles.
Achilles, yes.
And Angeloni, they must have put him on IR because he's not even on the injury report.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've been playing with AJ Klein and then Kiko Alonso have been their guys.
They signed Stephon Anthony this week.
Sure. Yeah, they've had some problems. Defensively, they've had some problems again. But you've got to be able to. Like I say, the teams that had success running the ball, the Texans, a lot of read options. The Rams, the toss sweep stuff. The Seahawks, I didn't think so, not so much because the Seahawks were behind in that game, and so Mickey will tell you that you throw the ball against these guys. So if you get protection, you can throw. So that's, to me, if I'm running the ball, I'm running it on the edges is what I'm trying to do.
Okay, ought to practice that running game because the Eagles ran for 176 yards against the Packers.
Yeah, Eagles got some good backs.
Saints have given up some pass plays, too. I think it's 14 explosive pass plays in 3 games now.
Yeah.
And Brian's talked about, they work the middle of the field. That's something the Cowboys have done, too, with Cooper, moving him around.
Their safeties are bad. I don't think, again, I'm not a big fan of Marcus Williams. I know a couple years ago, he was everybody's rave. But him and Von Bell, Von Bell can't run. I don't see if you get Von Bell in space. It's very similar to watching Frazier play. They can hit you, but if they can't get to you, then they can't hit you, and that tends to be a problem for Von Bell.
Okay, picks to click. We got our 4-minute offense here. 4 minutes left in the show. Picks to click. Let's start with Mickey.
Woo! Well, having said what we just said, I'm taking Dakota Prescott.
Okay.
Dakota Prescott. Pick to click.
Going Leighton Vander Esch. Went back and watched some of the game from last year, and Brian has talked about those splash plays. Boy, he had some splash plays in that game. Tackles behind the line of scrimmage, sideline to sideline. Maybe this is the game he really breaks out because I think he's been productive. He's made tackles, but they've got to be on their screws against Kamara and just making plays at the linebacker position. I think he can do that.
How's Leighton been playing?
I think the linebackers in the whole have been good, but the problem is, and I've said this a bunch, I overrated these linebackers. I propped them up too much on where I thought they could be and how they could play, and they still could very well get there, but they're playing well enough. It's just like Rob was talking about the splash plays and stuff like that. I was watching the game the other day, went back, and everybody was killing Smith for the way he played. And I felt like he only had 4 bad plays. And then we had a bad play where he got the defensive holding was one of them. And then what they do in the next play, he knocked the ball out of a guy's hand to get a turnover. So, these linebackers, could they play better? Absolutely they could, and they're capable of doing that. My pick to click is Lyle Collins. I think that when you look at the situation with the Saints, the one way that they can hurt you is with Cam Jordan. And Cam Jordan, to me, can affect the game as a rusher and as also a run defender. If the Cowboys are going to be right-handed, running the ball, trying to get it to the edge, you're going to have to be able to find a way to secure that edge. I think that Cam Jordan can affect you that way. This is going to be about Lyle Collins. He talks about his pass protection. He's shown a lot more patience with that, which is good. But he needs to beat up on Cam Jordan if he can. Be physical coming off the ball, get that edge secured, and let that ball get to the outside, whether they're running the toss, the 38 they run to his side, or they're running the read option. Plays off that right side, I think, could be key in this game, not only protection-wise, but the ability to run.
And they will move Cam Jordan around.
But you want to move him against Tyron Smith. I don't think they want to do that.
Right. Or they'll double up and put Davenport and him on the same side.
Yes.
And Will McClay did a great job, as he obviously would do, on the Jason Garrett show this week, breaking down those two edge rushers and how they use them and how that makes them susceptible in the secondary, which leads me to my pick to click, which is Randall Cobb. And Randall almost had a huge day last week, except for a couple of penalties, and that weren't his fault. And this is his week for me to click against this Saints
94
offense.
yards worth of loss.
There you go.
Receiving.
That's right.
That's a shame. He's such a great player. He really is. I mean, we talked about him when he came here, what a difference maker he can make. And Mickey said on the radio this morning, talking about there's things that Cole Beasley could do very well for you, but there's things that Randall Cobb does for you even better. And I think that's the thing that I'm the most impressed by. Such a pro in the way the approach of the game he has.
And Cole Beasley last week in his game against Cincinnati, he was the leading receiver for the Bills, had 8 catches for 48 yards.
So did you
6 yards a catch?
Did you hear Joe Buck's comment as they went to break after Devontae Adams went out?
I did not.
Bet they wish they had Randall Cobb, but he's playing for the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Well, they'll get to see Randall Cobb next week.
Yeah.
And we'll get to see him on Sunday night. And Brian, what time are you doing your thing before the game?
What time? We got a 7 o'clock. If it's a 7:30 game?
7.
Yeah, we're usually like 6:15 on all the Dallas Cowboys platforms.
Okay, and Mickey and Rob making the trip.
Yes. We'll have Nick and I will have hits from the sideline as per usual on pregame live. A 7:20 kickoff. So
we'll see.
6:40 on the Fan. My pregame segment.
All right, very good, and we will talk at you on Monday here on Talkin Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?